All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Evans, and I run our community program here at Arc XP. We're going to go ahead and get started as we're 2 minutes after the hour. We're glad that you're here. We have an exciting presentation for you today. Before I hand it over to our speakers, I just want to run through a few announcements about some upcoming events and then some of the logistics about today. So we actually have quite a few events coming up in the next couple of weeks to round out 2023. So not only do we have this webinar today that you obviously already know about because you're here, but next week we're offering something pretty unique for Arc XP. We're offering our first Spanish language webinar. So our client, El Universal from Mexico, will be presenting in Spanish about a success story that they've had this year around launching 9 sites on Arc XP. Again, this webinar will be in Spanish. So if you or your team or a division of your organization is in LATAM or Spain or speaks Spanish, we invite you to that. And we'd love to have you. I'll post the information after we get started here. And then coming up on December 6th, we're having a webinar called State of the Content Industry. And we're going to have leaders throughout the industry, as well as leadership from some of our client base, come and talk about some of the trends that they've seen in 2023, some of the challenges they faced, and then also what they see coming up in 2024. So that should be an interesting session to hear about all of the things that are going on in the industry. And then finally, our last event of the year is going to be on December 20th. We have our client Madsack from Germany coming to share about how they are empowering local newsrooms within their organization to present content to their local audience. So more information coming about that, but that will be our last event. So keep your eye on your email for all of these items, and we hope to see you there. Regarding today's webinar, everyone is on mute, but we have the question and answer function in Zoom at the bottom. If you have any questions, feel free to enter them in that Q&A function. That will come directly to me and to our speakers. And then at the end, we'll facilitate a Q&A where we get to all of the questions. We are scheduled just for 1 hour, but if the questions require more than an hour, we will stay on to make sure that we get to all of the questions. For the sake of the recording. Also, if you can stick around or would like to stick around, you're welcome to listen in as well. And then I think that is everything. So today we have an exciting presentation from Semji, one of our tech partners. We also have Christina here, who's our partner alliance manager. She's going to explain a little bit about our partnership program here. And then we also have Mike Holland, our VP of product. He's here to answer any questions that anyone has in regard to how this applies to our product, anything going on with the Arc XP product in general. So we'll hear from them during the Q&A. But without further ado, I will hand it over to Christina Nguyen to talk about our partnership program and then also to introduce Semji. So Christina.
Great. Thanks, Adam. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who's on. So again, my name is Christina, and I manage our strategic alliances and technology partnerships here at Arc XP. Our growing partner program today comprises of SI and agency partners and wonderful technology partners such as Semji, operating on a global scale to help us meet the needs of our customers. So our tech partner program is specifically built with 2 things in mind. The first is to meet our customers in their current tech stack. So we're all about, operational efficiencies here at Arc XP. So ensuring that your tools are working seamlessly together is very important to that mission. And then the second is to introduce complementary solutions to our customers. So solutions that are interesting, topical, and effective, that help your organization achieve its goals, whether that's to drive innovation, be more efficient, drive engagement, boost revenue, or all of the above. That's what our program is built for. So with that, I am very excited to help introduce one of those technology partners, again, Semji. And with us here today is Bertrand Gérin. He is the Semji co-founder and CEO. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm very pleased to say good evening, good afternoon, or good morning to all of you. Let me share my screen. Do you see my screen? Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. So Semji is SEO platform dedicated to content. We help our customer to deliver contents that will ring a bell to their readers, that will interest their readers, and make sure also that these contents get interest within Google to get traffic and more readers. We are a global company in the sense of we serve 10 different countries. We serve 300 customers in 10 different countries. And we are operationally, we are both in Europe and in Americas. What I will do is I will share with you a few slides, a few tips that are really tips coming from the experience we have from our media customers. Is the issue mainly is how do we get SEO teams and journalist teams working together? And a common issue that we see in the media industry is when you talk to journalists and SEO teams, they don't have the same language. But in fact, they could and they should. And we will try to help you in 8 practical tips to show you how you could do it. And then we will switch to a demo as Semji is fully integrated within Arc. So we can show you how within Arc, our customer are using Semji to get the best out of the 2 solutions working well together. The concern that we have usually between the 2 teams, SEO and journalists, is, the SEO teams, they say, I want traffic, and the journalists say, I want readers. So it's just, they're expressing the same thing, but in the different way. And the first tip that really is important is to get a common language and probably a common KPI. So what we suggest that works well within the media industry is to make sure that both of these teams, they get a common KPI that is traffic. So share, make sure that your journalists have access to this KPI, that they can say, okay, my article had so much traffic, and then the 2 teams will speak the same language and have a common goal. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is journalists, they like tools. They like to be empowered by tools. So to have a fantastic DXP solution like Arc is a great way to empower them. Regarding SEO, it's important that you choose the right tool for them to empower them. And that comes to my tip number 3, which is make sure that you involve the journalists when you choose an SEO solution to empower them. Make sure that you involve them at the beginning, at the very early stage of how to choose the solution, because you will gain on the ease of adoption. And adoption is very critical, because if you pay for a solution that is not used, you won't get a return on investment, and that's quite important. So, so involve them. Let's come to tip number 4. And journalists, usually they don't like changes in terms of solution and tools and toolings, don't change the habits. So if they are used to write within Arc, make sure that you have a solution that brings the SEO tool within Arc. So within the editor, within Composer, for those who are using Arc typically. So, it's for them, it's easy. They know how to use it, and it's not a big change in terms of processes or the way they work. That brings to tip number 5. And tip number 5 is also a question of languages. In SEO industry, you have a lot of tools that will talk about keywords and search volumes. So it doesn't ring a bell to journalists. What they know, what is interesting for them is, okay, my potential readers, what are their concerns? And usually they have intuitions, they know, but if you can bring data to them and helping them understand better what are the concerns of their readers, that's something that they will value. And actually that's what it's all about, is how to write an article that will interest the readers, interest also Google, so you get traffic and readers. And that brings to tip number 6, is also journalists are sensitive to time setting. If you bring a solution where they need to do a lot of extra things to use it, they won't use it. So make sure that's something that saves time to them, and then they will be very happy. And that brings to tip number 7, think big, start small. So basically, when you choose your solution, make sure that you choose it for your global team. But when you implement it, make sure that you start with a small team of ambassadors who will be very motivated to use it, maybe improve how to use it. And then basically, tip number 8, celebrate success. And these ambassadors will bring the rest of the team on board. So that's basically the 8 tips that I want to share with you from the experience we have from our customers, how to make sure that you are successful, making sure that these different teams who have a different language, making sure that they work well together within ARC and as SEO solution. Now, what I propose is now we stop talking about slides and theory, and let's switch to basically a demo. Okay, my session. Okay, so you're probably familiar with Composer. So let's get here. So I'm within an ARC environment, and here I have started to basically draft an article. Let's say I want to draft an article about what causes inflation. So this is the ARC environment where I'm used to write. And now I want to get SEO advices, I would say, or reader advices from Semji. And you see Semji is very well integrated within ARC, because basically you have a small Semji solution, and you just click on it. And with ARC, then you will get a full integration that will basically in real time give you a lot of indication of what you could say about within your articles. So so that's basically here. So you see that I have chosen a topic here, which is what causes inflation. And here the setup is done for the US in English. You can change all this. You could say, okay, I'm in Brazil. I'm concerned about Portuguese in Brazil. And then you will set up Semji within this language and this country. And to get the concerns of your audience typically on this targeted reading potential readers. Then you see within here, you have different indication. You have what we call competitors. Competitors is actually SEO competitors, which means basically what is the SERP results, the Google results in the US today when I search what causes inflation. And actually a lot of journalists, before writing an article, what they will do is they will search Google and have a look at what others are saying and have written about it. And you can see that within a click, you can see, for instance, in Investopedia, instead of going to the article, I have a full resume of what is the article about, which also, remember, the save time for journalists, which is important. It's a way to save time, basically. And of course, if I want to say it, I just click it, and then I can have access to the full article. Let me switch, sorry. How do I do that? Okay. Sorry about that. So let's come back here. Now, so that's the overview of the SERP results within Google. Now let's go to optimization. Optimization will give you some indication about what are the concerns of your audience, what you could talk about, and they will give you data. So typically, you will see, for instance, what we call search intents. It's typically what are the main concerns of potential readers. And for each of a topic that we are here, so inflation rate, inflation report, demand pool inflation, you have basically the statistics of the monthly readers, potential readers in the US. Typically, you could say, oh, yeah, demand pool inflation. I want in my article, I want to talk about it. So here, you just, if you want, just cut and paste. And you see that here's this small number is moving automatically. What is it? It's what we call the content score. It's a score over 100 that gives you how good you have a fit with your potential readers, the concern of the potential readers, knowing also taking into account the Google constraints in terms of SEO, okay? Both of these two words. Okay, so typically here you can very quickly build the headings of your articles, cost push inflation, okay, that's a good idea. And then you can write your article and automatically you will have your content score that will get updated. Of course, all these recommendations are just recommendations. At the end, the journalist is the master of the game. He knows he is the one who writes. So at any moment, you can say, no, increases, I don't want to talk about it. So you just disable it. It's very easy, basically. It's a tool that will help you to understand, but it drives you towards what you could do. But what is important is at the end is you choose what you want, okay? So that's the first step. It's search intents. Then you will get also access on questions. So questions are basically what are the questions people are usually asking about what causes inflation. So typically people are concerned about inflation in 2023 or right now. Okay, why is inflation so high, whatever. So you could say, okay, this is a good question. I want to answer it. You just cut and paste and boom. So sorry, because I think I need to save. Okay, so you see also you can drag and drop. It's very easy in terms of you can also resize as you want. So it will help you basically to build the different your article, and then you write your articles. You have also some education if you want to enhance the semantic of your articles, to have some ideas about, okay, I want to talk about factors. Why is proposing factors? You can also just click and have an idea of why you could talk about factors affecting inflation, okay? If you're not sure about, so that basically helps you to give you some ideas on how to enrich and make an article that will be interesting for your readers. Okay, so that's typically, I'm here from a blank page. I want to write, this is the best way you can do it, to write efficiently an article that will basically fit your readers' concerns and also Google. And usually what we recommend for the media industry is to get a score before publishing at around 75, so 75, because it's a very sweet spot to get performance, to get high traffic. On the average, our customers using Semji and not using Semji, they get a 40% traffic difference. So by using Semji, by writing an article with Semji or not writing an article with Semji, you get a 40% increase in traffic. So that's a huge gain, and it's interesting to do it. So that's the common way, I would say, to use Semji within Arc. Now you have also access to some functionalities that are not directly accessible within Arc, and that you can access. Typically, if I go here within the platform, actually I can go here. You have, I will show you two sets of functionalities that can be interesting for you. The first one is what we call pages. So here I am connected to the Semji US environment. You see that I can, you can have many different environments. If you have different websites or different languages, you can set that into different workspaces within Semji. And this module called Pages will help you to say, okay, within, I don't know, I have 1 million pages on my website. If I want to improve the traffic of some pages and rewrite these pages so I update the content so to get more traffic, where should I start? I'm not going to do the 1 million pages, right? So Semji is doing the job for you, basically. Semji will scroll all your websites, all your pages, and identify the hidden gems, the low-hanging fruit, the pages where, for instance, in terms of click prioritization, here Semji on our website in the US tells me if I want to prioritize by click potential, I should start by rewriting this page. Okay. That's very helpful if you want to have quick wins in terms of traffic, quick gains, because usually that works very well in terms of return on investment, because these pages are usually pages that have already a good position. You see here on the keyword for Google My Business, we are on the average, we are number 6 in the US, and it's a nice potential volumes of potential readers. And I have a content score that is only 51. So I still have a long way to go to 100 or 75. So by doing that, statistically, I have a very good chance to get maybe to rank number 2 or number 3. And that's a game changer in SEO. When you go from number 6 to number 3, it's a big, big improvement in terms of traffic. So that's what Semji is doing for you. And then you can implement a lot of different filters if you want to select, and if you have typically you say, okay, I'd like to only look at here we have a blog part, then you can apply, to just focus on a certain part of your website. But you have many different filters that you can apply to really focus and then work on existing pages and update them. That's one functionality. Another functionality that is not yet implemented within Arc, within the extension, but we hope to be able to implement that soon, is our AI suite. And let me show you something. So let's come back on, I want to write an article about what causes inflation. So you will see here, I have the same recommendation that you have seen within Arc. But let's say I have no idea of what to write about here. And I would like the AI to help me to give me some ideas of what I could write in this article. We will be able to set up a tone and voice. So here I have by default generic tone and voice, but I can set up, for instance, a Harvard Business Review tone and voice. This one we've done. Or of course, we can set up a specific tone of voice for you, for a specific journalist, for instance, or a specific newspaper or type of article. Like I want to set up for, I don't know, the Washington Post, the editor tone and voice. Okay, so here I have done that for Harvard Business Review, because I think, what causes inflation, it's Harvard Business Review could write an article like this. Let's see. So this is live, and I have to say that, so we use in AI, we have on the background, we use OpenAI plus our specific suites, AI suites technologies. And yesterday, OpenAI had a lot of problems. So I hope this will work. This is live. I hope OpenAI won't let us down. So what I could do first is I could ask our AI to give me an idea of title, potential title. Okay. Okay. Cause of inflation. What caused inflation to rise after? Okay. Maybe I would like something more broader, not just focus on 2023 and covering factors after. Okay. Okay, let's regenerate. Okay. Okay, maybe I could take that, but maybe I could just suppress that and say inflation explained or revealing the cause of inflation. Okay, let's make a generic article, not just focus on 2023. And then I could just click here on atomic content. And what are we doing here? So what we will do first is we are going to gather a lot of information like a journalist does, basically. We're going to read a lot of different articles about that topic. That's the first thing that we do. Then depending, of course, of the title, then we will choose some headings here, you've seen. And then you will see that for each heading, we will write then the paragraph, okay? Taking into account the tone of voice that we have set up, which is a Harvard Business Review tone, okay? And this will take about between 1 and 2 minutes, okay? So we won't go to the complete process, but I'll let you read a little bit. What is interesting here is we are able, with our AI, to provide you fresh information. If it's an information that has been published an hour ago, we can take that into account. So that's quite, very important for a journalist. We are able to set up tones of voice. We are also consistent with what we say in terms of content score. We recommend, 75. Here we are likely to end up with an 80 or 85 content score when the article is fully written. So that's another way to work. And then the added value, of course, of a journalist here is to make sure that the information is correct. It's a way also to avoid, the white page syndrome. So it will give the journalist some ideas. And of course, he can completely change the articles afterwards. But at least he has something that has given him some start, some kickoff, basically. Okay. You see, we are already at 64 in terms of content score. And what I want to also maybe just have a look of the different headings. You see, so this is a Harvard Business Review type of article. So it's a very generic article about, like a case study part, but there are, the different monetary factors influencing inflation. There are a lot of interesting things, I think, okay, in terms of quality. So that's the first way to use our AI. And let me show you another thing that I want to share with you. It's, let's say I want to write an article that is much more today, basically, what is happening related to inflation in the US now. To see, if we are able to bring you some interesting data that are fresh. So let's try. So basically here I want to write an article about inflation rate in the USA. And I would say focus maybe on, what is happening in 2023. So here I will use the generic tone of voice. I don't want to have a, Harvard Business School review tone of voice. And first thing to do is, let's say I want to have a title. Okay, so why not? By the way, you see US inflation rate stays static at 3.7%. So let's go to the consumer price index. And you see that was released in September. Actually, that's the inflation rate for September, from January to September. That was published in October. And if you look at the inflation rate, it's 3.7, okay? So that's quite important in terms of AI to bring data that is the right data. Okay, so that could be a potential title. Let's see if inflation rate remains at 3.7 in September. Let's say, okay, I take this one, I pick up this one. And now I can also ask Atomic Content to produce a full article. by the way, if you select or deselect here search intents, for instance, this will be taken into account for the AI, with our AI. So that's also something that you can really, the idea is really you have the hand on the AI to orientate the AI to do the job that you would like the AI to do for you, okay? So you see the data is correct here. As I say, okay, the CPI witnesses an increase of 0.4% in the same month. So let's check. You see in September, the raise of inflation in September was 0.4%. So that's also correct, okay? So basically, the idea is to gain time. So you can use this functionality to make things happening faster. And there will be more things coming. As mentioned, something that is very important for our client in the media industry, which is fact-checking. So pretty soon in Q4, we will release fact-checking also capabilities. So you both have an article, but we are also able to tell you, okay, this figure, we are pretty sure it's correct. Okay, this one you should really check. So you can also focus on, you know, where to check if you have doubt about the fact that the AI is bringing. So thank you very much. I hope this is interesting, and I hope that we have many questions.
Great. Thanks so much, Bertrand. Yeah, we do have a few questions coming in. I encourage you, if you have any other questions, type those into the Q&A function. We'll get to those in a moment. But I think to kick things off, Christina, if someone just watched this demo and said, wow, I want to use Semji with Arc, this is amazing, what should they do?
Best thing to do is to reach out to your TAM, your technical account manager, and then we'll get a conversation going and get you in front of Semji and understand what your needs are.
Great. Yes. So definitely reach out to your account manager if you want to get started with Semji. All right. So a few questions in no particular order. So Mark asks, he's curious how the keyboard data is pooled and how frequently it's updated.
Okay. So there are a lot of different data, so it depends on the data. One of the key of the recommendation that we do is the quality of the data, and the quality of the data is also freshness of the data. So there are so like data like this that are, you know, cluster volumes, typically your potential readers. These are monthly updates data, okay? And they are coming from different providers, and we benchmark the providers to try to have always the best data possible for our clients. So that's an example. We have other types of data, like so data like competitors. These are daily updates. So basically, if I look tomorrow, I will get potential different data. Okay. So that's the main set of data. And then all the AI part, we fill data with real-time data for the AI. So when you want to write something about what causes inflation, the first thing that we'll do is we will gather data that, you know, that maybe has been published a few minutes ago. So you can have really fresh data, because in the media industry it's very important.
Great. All right. Brian asks, how does Semji's AI generated content differ from other AI generated content, especially in the eyes of search algorithms?
Yeah, so that's a very, very good question. We've been working with AI for 2 years, and we have launched what we call atomic content only a month ago. Why? Because we were not happy with the quality we were getting in terms of when I say quality, is freshness of information, tones of voice. People can monitor the tones that they want, but also content score. If you go to ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT to write me an article about what causes inflation, the average content score that you will get is 30, okay? Which is not good for what we think is a good metric in terms of SEO and a search engine performance. If you go to, I mean, there are a lot of different platforms. I'm talking about ChatGPT, but there are a lot of AI generative solutions that will produce articles. And we are convinced that if you don't write an article that is outstanding, you will be in the middle of the red ocean, because it's so easy to publish a content, just pushing the button of ChatGPT, and okay, you won't stand out of the crowd. And that's the very important thing, stand out of the crowd. And what we do recommend is not use purely AI. AI is a gain of time. As you can see, atomic content will bring you to a very good level, but you need to give the little spike in your content that will make the difference. And the spike can be a different tone. It's very specific to you that we cannot mimic with AI, but it can be also what we call information gain, something that nobody has, something that has never been published. Of course, in the media industry, that's important. So if you are in your article, you can bring that will make the difference. And we are convinced that's something that is a very important signal for Google, because Google is swallowing content produced by AI like they have never swallowed before, because it's so easy to push the button. So how do they make the difference? Well, this is one of the small things that we'll take into account. Information, gain of information.
Great. Okay. And now we have a question about the integration itself, which Bertrand, I'd like your input, but also Mike, I think just general about integrations within ARC. So someone asked, how integrated is Semji with ARC versus a standalone tool like other SEO platforms? So Bertrand, maybe you can start.
Okay. What is important for our customers, it's basically, I don't want to change my environment. If I have to switch, like I did for some functionalities, and I have to go to pages to prioritize, this is typically the role of SEO teams. That won't be usually it's not with journalists. So for the journalist, they write within Composer. It's very important that they have all the information within Composer. And you can see in terms of integration, it's both, it's on time. This is real time, basically. When I'm writing everything, you see if I'm doing to something like inflation rate, you see in real time, the platform has understood that you start writing about the topic inflation rate. Your content score is updated automatically. And we notice also, because we monitor a lot how our customers are using Semji. It's a kind of game, and they like it. You see, because it's really time. So they don't waste time, basically.
Great. And Mike, anything to add?
I agree with Bertrand. It's one of the challenges, as you know, is ARC's trying to make sure that all of our partners that are like strategic partners like Semji have early looks into what we're doing with Composer. I mean, the technology at some level looks like a simple side panel, but we're making sure that when we're making, like, we have future changes to Composer, Semji's getting an early look at that. So I think some of you know we have a new version of Composer coming out next year. Semji will be in it before probably anybody, to make sure that it's still compatible, that we don't have issues. Other work that we're doing with other use cases, we're giving our development partners early looks into that. And we're talking about ways we can have them work together. I mean, I think Bertrand's point is really well taken, which is Composer is a tool to help the authors. Semji's native UI, not the side panel, but their full UI is great for an SEO team. And Arc doesn't have a product in that area, right? We have WebSched for planning, but it's a different use case and it's a different kind of role than what we deal with right now. And we know, I mean, some of you use other tools for SEO, and that's out there. So we want to give you the flexibility to do that. But our goal with the integration is to make sure that Semji knows what's coming with Composer, so that this author experience is deeply integrated, it's as reliable as the rest of the Arc platform, and that you don't have to worry about like one day something changes and it's not working. Like you could, for example, with like Grammarly, which we know a number of you probably use as well as a plugin, but we're not working with our team at all. So we have no idea on any given day if something could change and Grammarly could have problems, right? So it's a level of reliability for you to be sure that if you partner with Semji, will help make sure it keeps working.
Great. All right. Patrick says, thanks for the interesting insights. Any chance to fine tune your AI generated text by using prompts?
Yes, that's coming too. Yeah. Actually, the brand voice that is coming is actually prompt engineering. Okay. But then there will be another functionality coming that will be in 2024 to give our clients the capabilities to engineer prompts that they want. If they have, we have customers that have a high level of already prompts engineering within the team, and that they really want to be able to do that within our platform. And so they, we listen to the needs of our customers. So, and that's something that came very quickly from our customers, and that's something that is in the roadmap for 2024. Yeah.
Great. Cool. All right. So Judy has a question that I think is of great interest to especially media organizations, as AI seems to be taking over. So she asks, does the content remain stored and kept locally or shared? Is our content safe to stay within our org and not shared outside the org?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's so the way the AI. So first, yes, it's your content. I mean, our customer, we use Semji, the content that they produce manually or with AI, it's their content. Okay. And it's stored safely. Well, usually it's actually the way they will use it within Arc. So it's actually stored within Arc. Okay. But there is a synchronization with Semji, but it's stored within Arc. So it's safe. The question that maybe is it unique? That many customers, maybe it's a bit a different question, but probably it's maybe what she also wants to say. And this is a question that is regularly coming with AI. How I am sure that my content is unique, okay, and that the AI is not going to produce exactly the same content for Weaver. So it's why in the roadmap that I've shared here, these are coming in Q4 functionality. So brand voice, fact checking, duplicate. So basically making sure that we are not providing you with duplicate content or a content that has too many similarities with. So this is something that we have already in the hot pipeline, and that will be released before the end of the year.
Okay, great. Someone else asked, is Google Search Console integrated in order to get some of that click data that we're seeing?
Yes. So that's a functionality I have not shown, but there is a complete also report functionalities within Semji that actually plugs to your search consoles and Google Analytics or Adobe or whatever analytics you have solution. We have compatible, we have many connectors. So here I can typically see, okay, I want to see the clicks on my pages, and you can see pages by pages, article by articles, what are the Search Console clicks here. But you can also see when if you have updated the content, you see the red dots here. It will show you when this content has been updated. So you can really understand what are the changes in terms of what is the impact of a change on your click KPI from the Search Console, for instance.
Great. Okay. And then the next question is this already being used by another ARC French customer? I'm not familiar with the customers that are using it. Bertrand, maybe you are. Do you know if we have any other French customers using the Semji integration?
I don't think so yet, but we have American customers, Brazilian, Irish, and Mexican customers using ARC.
And Christina, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, no French customers yet. No French ARC customers yet.
And I would say to the person who asked this question, if you're interested in getting connected with anyone who's currently using it, and just kind of depending on what the nature of the question is, reach out to your account manager, and we can, along with Christina, we can put you in touch with someone. Okay, great. And then the next question is, do the recommendations depend on the media type of the article shell? For example, if this is a video article, would this differ from an analysis article or news versus evergreen content?
Yeah, that's a very good question. In our analysis, we analyze only the text. Okay. But also on the roadmap, things will come on that subject. Customers are also concerned about video and audio, images, and we have some functionalities probably in 2024 coming on that subject. So we can also provide with recommendation on your article should have this type of image, for instance, or a video. Why? Because we can understand if it will work better in terms of your main KPI, which is maybe clicks, but also on Google. We are able to say that. And what we would like also to be able to bring you advices on, okay, if you want to put a video on your article, what should it talk about? What should be the script of the video, for instance? Okay. So that's a very good question, and that's something that is coming. Yes.
Yeah, in general, I think with this whole AI, just in general, it seems like the pace of innovation is so quick. I'm sure, Bertrand, like Semji, you guys it seems like you have tons of updates coming. The roadmap is exciting. How do you collect feedback from your users to make sure that you're addressing those needs?
Yeah, well, first, we believe in human beings. And so we have every customer as a customer success manager, and they talk with the users on a very regular basis. That's very important for us. So we talk, we exchange, we chat, because the customer who are using, they know, basically. They have tons of feedbacks to give us. And so usually the main channel is, one-to-one meeting or email or chat, but human beings talking to human beings. And then, we gather every recommendation is put in the roadmap, and then we prioritize. We have a release every 2 weeks. So we are very frequent release. And if I had made a demonstration of the platform a year ago, it's not the same. Okay. And in next year, it won't be the same. Things are moving fast.
Gotcha.
We are moving fast.
Great. All right. We have 4 more questions. It's not too late to submit. So if you have anything else, feel free to enter it in. But Killian asks, where is the data coming from that the AI uses to write the text? Is there any way to follow the source of the data?
Yeah, it's actually what we call the fact-checking. We will bring you, well, that's the aim, to have the source. So basically, if I go back to here, let me go back here. Okay, you remember this article, and here you will get the source of the data coming. So you will get the link actually in the fact-checking module. The idea here is really, that's very important for the media industry, but for all the customers. Where is the data coming from? Okay. So you will get that in the fact-checking functionalities, and the aim is to give you also a hint on the reliability of these data. The level of confidence. So it helps you also to focus on, if you want to check on where we tell you here, we're not so sure. You should check.
Got it. Okay. And then Luke has a question about the competitors list. Can the list be set by the client, or is that a generic list?
Yeah. So here, what we call competitors, it's really SERP results, so the Google results. So you cannot change that. But there is a module coming probably for the end of the year, beginning of next year, that is a competitor module, where you will be able to set the list of the competitors you want to monitor. And the idea with this module is to give you, what my competitors are writing about. What is their velocity of writing? How many articles do they write on inflation, for instance? Where the gain of traffic is coming, basically. So you will have a tremendous tool to monitor and understand the orientation or the move of your competitors. SEO is a matter of also because there's some inertia, and it's important to make the right choice. And if your competitors is moving faster than you, it's good to know. It's better to know. So yeah, within these modules, you will have access to that, and you will be able to decide what competitors you want to monitor, to choose.
Sure. And then Sunny asks, is it possible to use Semji only as an SEO checker for originally authored content, like SEO score, comparable Google results, and so on, and disable the AI generated content functionality?
Yeah, yes. This is coming because some customers of us, they don't want the team to use AI, and that's fine with us. So same thing, that will be coming with AI role management. So you will be able to have access to who has access to AI, and if you want to suppress the access, you will be able to do it. Okay.
All right, last question here, unless we receive anything else, is when using AI to compose the headlines that you demonstrated, is there a way to set a preference for Google Search, Google Discover, or Google News?
No, but that's a good idea. Let me
put that in your client feedback.
Yes.
column. Okay, and then we did get another question that just popped in. Are there any features that identify previously published related content in order to recommend or even automatically add internal links?
Yeah. That's something I had not shown. I will do that on the Semji website because this is the internal linking. If I understand well, the question is, and yeah, we do also we recommend internal linking. So typically, let me show you that on Semji website because then it will work. You see here, I will have some recommendation on links on other existing articles where I could place a link to this article that I want to update. Or if I write a new article, it will be the same. It will indicate to you, you have some existing articles where you place a link. And we know that internal linking is very key on the SEO performance, especially for discovering new articles, and that also making sure that your readers, they stay on your website. So this is very important. And you see, you have both incoming and outgoing links that we suggest.
Perfect. All right. Well, those are all of the questions that we have. Bertrand, anything else you'd like to share to close us out? Any final words?
To your time and test. Semji, and you will see the difference.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We hope you have a great day, and we hope to see you next week for our next webinar. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.